Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of So Blessed by Jess. And today we are conquering another block from, the Sherman's March, the Civil War inspired quilt block. Isn't it beautiful? Absolutely love it. I am having so much fun. Small pieces, but you know what? We can do hard things. We can definitely do it. So this quilt will eventually be 82 by 93. It probably will be a little bit bigger. Probably might be a little bit smaller. Who knows? But there's a couple different ways, and I'm just going to show you how I create the block itself and then go from there. It is a quilt that is done on point. So actually when I'm putting it together, it's going to be like this and then in rows, which is cool and everything like that. So, and it works. Absolutely works. All right, so block construction. Let's talk about that. So we have a solid block in the middle, followed by a 9 patch, but it's definitely like a 9 patch like I made before in my let's see, that quilt that I made this summer. Oh my word. Oh, I got paint on me. Anywho, but my freedom quilt, whatever I called it for the 4th of July. And then, so it's like longer pieces here and then a block, and then you'll see when I'm making it. And then we have a square that has snowballed, and then, you know, flying geese. What quilt wouldn't be complete without flying geese? Yes, I'm a flying geese girl. Love them, love them. So anywho, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn you around. We're going to show you the fabrics that I have cut so far and that I'm going to be working with. And there's a couple ways that you can strip piece those 9 patches. And so we're going to do it both ways to show you. But we're going to end up making a variation of this block right here. So, I thought that I wanted to go more scrappy, but apparently I just wanted to use the same background and the same color scheme. So we'll see how far I can go with this. I can't say all of my design, but I kind of have something else going on. I took a picture, chopped it up a little bit, but we're going to make it where it's like, it's a Civil War. So North versus South with the American flag in between. I can't wait to show you. I've kind of didn't draw it correctly, so it's looking horizontal rather than vertical, but I just got to flip it. I got to flip it. It's going to look so amazing. In my brain, it's already there, and I absolutely love it. Now, I'm just chatting away. That's what I do best, right? I'm just a chatter. So let me go ahead, flip you down. Let me put my wool mat down, so I try not to give you too much of the measurements, because if I do, I might get in trouble, and I don't want to get in trouble by the quilt people. Yeah, we don't need that. Not at all. Okay, so we're making this block right here. We're going to make this 9 patch, and there's 2 different ways that you can do it. You have a longer piece here, followed by a square. All of these squares are the same size as this square. And then you have a square and then another long piece. So what I could do is I could take a long piece of like the width of fabric, and then sew this piece on top, which would give me my this unit right here. And I need double the amount of these than I do of the center one. So I can do it that way. And then I just need to cut the increments, and that could definitely save some time. Or, like I was doing yesterday, I just went and cut out the increments of how long they need to be, the rectangles, and then I added the square to the side. So you can do it either way, whatever makes sense to you. It's all depending on my mood of what I'm going to do. And then to make this centerpiece right here, the center, you can either take a strip. Oh, let's get the other one. Then get another strip. And just sew all these down and then cut them to size of the way that you need them. Or if you're just trying to kill time and just want to sew, which is fine, you can also just create your own little strip. So it all depends. Because sometimes I don't have strips that are long enough, because right now I'm working with a lot of scraps from my stash. They're all in the same color families. I got the creams, I got the reds. And so it all depends on the cut of fabric, is if I can do the strip piecing like this, or if I have to do it this way, one little piece at a time. So again, it's your preference and the type of fabric that you have. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do both of these, make a few, and we're going to go from there. Okay, so I've done some sewing. And like I said, you can make a strip piece like this and then cut them into the increments that you need. And you're going to need 2 times the amount of this one as you're going to do the other one, because you need 2 of these per that 9 patch block. So we can do this and then cut them, or depending on if you're using scraps or not, you can just go ahead and make the units itself. Okay, so when we're putting them together, we're going to have, actually the red goes to, well, pretend that this is the upper right hand corner. So the red goes to the top corner, followed by that piece, and then another one of those first units that we made. Okay, I also, when I was pressing, I pressed to the red. On my square itself though, like the one that I already made, I pressed everything open when I did it originally. So you can do it either way. They both turned out well. I want to try to do it this way on this one to see like how bulky the seams get. Okay, so I need to make 4 of these units. Okay, and now we have our 4 9 patches. Well, they're really 7 patches, but we won't say anything. Okay, so let's go ahead and put those to the side. The next thing that we're gonna do is, oh, let me put these to the side too. We'll cut those later. We don't need them right now. The next thing that we're gonna do is we're going to take, we've made these, we're gonna make the flying geese units. We're gonna need 4 of our backgrounds, which we have right here. And then we need, ooh, I think we're gonna go with this light blue here. I think we'll play with this. Okay, let's see if we have enough. Ooh, I don't think so. Oh no, I only have 6. Okay, we are gonna go to step 2, which is these right here. All right, so 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, so I have 8 of these blue. You know what? And I'm still going to use this one for, you'll see in a second. All right. So in order to make these flying geese units, can you see? Oh, you can see that. Okay. There's 2 ways that we can do it. We can flip it over. We can draw, excuse me, I got the hiccups, a diagonal line, measure it up, or like line it up, and then sew down your diagonal line, and then cut a 4th away. That is how a lot of people do it. What I do is I take this ruler, and this ruler already has my 1/4 inch right there. So I'm going to line it up from corner to corner. And I'm going to go ahead and cut my angle off. So I can go ahead and sew that down. All right, so as I'm sewing it, We're going to do it again so I can get it off. We're going to line it up. We're going to line up that 1/4 inch from corner to corner. And so 1/4 inch. Now again, on the first block that I did, I cut everything, or sorry, I pressed everything open. Okay. So you can take your little, I just run my fingers down it. Try not to stretch it too much. Then I turn it over. Oh, you can see it up here. I just hit it with an iron real quick. Okay. So we have half of our flying goose. Go to the other side. Line it up. Now you can draw your line, or we can cut it away. Whichever works for you. Okay. And so all right, that's the second one that I did. There we go, back it up a little bit. Sorry, you guys are really close on that first couple minutes. Okay. Line up the second one. I could do flying geese all day long. I really enjoy them. Is it wrong that I will purposely do a quilt just because it has a flying goose? I am more apt to even start that quilt than others. All right, I'm going to open the seam with my fingers. Press it with the iron. And then voila. And we're going to make 4 of those units. And they fit right here inside my block. Okay. So to make the other, so we have 1 more unit. Well, just like how we made the goose, we're going to make, we have to snowball with our background. Okay. Right. So now, again, I just cut it 1/4 inch away. Sew down, and just like the flying geese, I'm gonna do that 8 times to make this little block right here. All right, when I finish making these 2 units, I'll be back. All right, let's put this block together. We're first gonna start with our center. And then we have to remember that the red goes towards the center. And there's gonna be some blocks that kind of look like this goes vertical instead of horizontal. I mean, I could have sewn it a different way, but it's all right. It still looks good. I just keep moving all the stuff around. Okay. So we have that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take these blocks. The background goes towards the center, and then we put our flying goose like that. Oops, right. Looking good so far. As you can see, I had to change one of the backgrounds. I didn't have enough of this, but I'm okay with it. It's going to be scrappy, scrappy. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to sew our flying geese onto our square with our snowballs. Once we have that, we have a beautiful little 9 patch. And then we can go ahead and sew that up. All right, I'll take pictures as I go. All right, she's done. I pressed the way that it wanted me to press, so you have it that way. Here's it all pressed open on the corners on the outside. I kept the flying geese pressed open as much as I could. It just makes it a little bit easier, simpler. But here are the first 2 blocks that we have going on. And then here's my rendering. So I made a photocopy of the quilt. And I know it's in the wrong orientation, and it's okay. I'm not going to go print another one out. I know what I want. So it's going to be elongated instead of going landscape. But I need to make 29 of these-ish. 29-ish. So I'll probably make like 32, just in case. So here's the north, here's the south, and in the middle right here is the flag of the United States. So we have our stars and our stripes. And I'll make sure I have 13 stripes going this way. Actually not 13. It won't be 13 stripes going this way because I just have to, I'll measure from here to here, figure out what the dimensions of the of the flag should be to make it as realistic as possible. I think it's beautiful. It's definitely up my aisle. Definitely. So, anywho, thank you so much for following along. Thanks for hanging out. And I will see you in the next video sometime soon. All right, talk to y'all later. Bye.